When it comes to placing down items in Minecraft, cake gets all of the fun. Where are the apples? Where are the beets? Where are the beetroot seeds? Hey guys, it's Chad. Today we're checking out a modification for Minecraft 1.12.2. You can easily get this in the Twitch desktop app. That's the easiest way to modify your Minecraft. So you'll also check out a link in the description for the modification, the mod. I don't know why I'm saying modification, that's silly. It's a mod. Anyway, this adds the ability for you to easily place down lots of items that have no way to actually put them into the world other than throwing out an entity, just kind of float and rotate there. That's just so lame. So let's jump into it.
So here we are inside of Minecraft, and we already have the mod installed. Let me see mod options. Here we go. What are we doing? Placeable items mod. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. And to give you a little bit of a preview, here is kind of what it looks like. It adds all of these things in Minecraft that normally are just an item thrown on the ground. Don't look very exciting. Well, now you can place them in the world. Now, one thing I do want to note, point out right in the beginning, this is an enchanted apple. This is a normal golden apple, and the enchanted apple doesn't have any enchantments around it. Here are 3 different types of potatoes. Got normal, poisonous, and baked. But we're going to get into a lot of the different models that are added. There are so many, so I've gone through a lot of these already. I do want to start off with a few that are specific to the mod that are like new, basically. And that is the saddles and the horses. As you can see, as I'm placing them in here, they're pretty big. Oh my gosh. Now, to place any of these down, you have to shift in order to place them down. Holding this horse in my hand is hilarious. I'm holding like a little itty bitty horse. It takes up most of my room. So, the horses and saddles will be showing off all of the saddle stuff. So you can see that's just kind of what some saddles look like. Here are the horses. There we go. Put on some armors right here. Looking good. They basically are like real horses, but without intelligence. With artificial intelligence removed, and then you just right-click them to remove the armor. Once they're placed down, you shift-click to place them down. All you have to do is just right-click in order to add them. You don't have to shift-click again in order to add that. That's the same with the plates. Plates are also added, and you just... oh, by the way, you can eat anything that is placed down. So I could go over here and eat this just by right-clicking on it. Even though I'm in creative mode, it still works. And even if your hunger is totally full, it will still work. And you can do that with potions a little bit later on. But here, let's go ahead and just grab these guys. With these plates, you're just able to plate stuff quite easily without holding down shift. And then they are added to plates, which is kind of nice. So that is all of that. Now, let's move into a bunch of the food, and believe me, there is so much to cover. I'm probably not going to show off the models for all of these, just because there is so much. So let's start off with the fish, and we have, I think, just a few fish with me right here. I removed this salmon. There are baked versions of all of these. Well, the ones that, I mean, obviously clownfish doesn't have a baked version. But you got all the fish. There's salmon, cooked salmon, and cooked normal raw fish as well. Now let's move on to the meats, and let me throw in a few more meats into this. Get rid of the potatoes for just half a second. And so here we go. So we got some raw pork chop, and then you got normal pork chop. And remember, all you have to do is right click to get those pork chops up. I won't go through many of the other raw ones. We got raw chicken and then cooked chicken, so you can see the difference there. And we got beef and raw beef. By the way, these work just like heads do, where if you turn or move your character, it will place them in a new orientation. So just as skulls work, whoopsie, getting rid of, oh no, oh gosh, I've screwed it all up. Just like placing heads down. They move around like that. We got some mutton, we got some rabbit, cooked mutton, cooked chicken, and some of these can be placed in different ways. So these are placed on the ground, obviously, but mutton can be placed from the ceiling, just like that. So it could be hung from the ceiling. Same thing with apples. Apples can be hung from the ceiling, and a few things can be placed on the walls as well. So that's a lot of the meat. Now let's move on to some of, you know what? I never even checked Spider Eye. Okay, yeah, Spider Eye works. Fantastic. Let's move on to some of the extra little things that we got. We got some stews, and then I have even a few extra at the very, very end. You got some melons and glistening melon. Also, there is a model. You saw the eye, kind of looks gross. Pumpkin pie looks so good. Oh my gosh, I love it. Apples, and those can be hang from the ceiling just like that. So you could add them onto trees and stuff and make golden apple trees. And we got some carrots, and then soups. And I really like the soups. There's all these different types of soups, and even bowls, empty bowls can be placed down. In fact, if I eat a soup, that's just what a bowl looks like when it is placed on the ground. And we only have a few more. You saw the potato, so I'm just going to show off the cookies. And cookie will be placed just a single cookie, but there are a few, very few items that can be stacked multiple. And all you have to do is just continue to right click. You don't have to shift anymore. So you shift to put down the first one and then right click to fill them all up. And you can really make some cool looking stuff because of the different angles, and it really makes it look a little bit random. So you can put up to 4 cookies together, stacked together. You'll see that a little bit later with ingots as well. So that basically covers all of the food. Now let's move on to a few of the ores and a few other just really, really cool stuff with some of the models. And then we have even more of those. Okay, get out of here. Let me clear this up. A little bit more organized. Okay, so diamonds, they look like this, and they look awesome, I would say. They look really, really cool in 3D. Next is iron ingots and gold ingots, and both of these are just like the others, which can be stacked multiples. So you can stack up to 6, and you can decide to stop at any time, but those look really nice, all packed in there. And then emeralds. Next is blaze rods, and blaze rods look really cool. They look basically like end rods, but if you give yourself some flint and steel, then you can light these guys on fire, and they will create light, just like an end rod would, and it even has particles there. Can't put down flint and steel, otherwise just light stuff on fire. Next is buckets. I love these buckets, and you have milk, water, and lava, and then of course an empty bucket. The milk bucket works just like the others in that you can, in other foods, that is, in that you can drink the milk out. You can't drink the water or drink the lava, obviously. It's kind of cool. It kind of puts down a different little bucket there. That's quite, wait a second. Why doesn't a normal bucket do that? Well, empty milk bucket, the pail kind of goes up, which is kind of cool. And now let's move on to the other things. Beetroot seeds can be placed down, which is interesting because they're the only seeds that can be placed down. Only beetroot seeds can. This is my chest full of things that didn't work, and I could never get actual normal seeds to be placed on the ground. Only beetroot seeds can be placed. So that's just kind of a little bit trivia right there. You can have some music discs, and they show off the different colors. You have some clay, and it looks like a little clay ball. You have nether bricks and normal bricks. Now, these cannot be multiple stacked. You can only put one of these down. You have chorus fruit and popped chorus fruit. So those look like that, which is kind of neat. Now, before we move on to another chest of really cool items, let's move on to some weapons over here. Now, there are only these weapons. There's all the different types of weapons. So you got wood, stone, iron, diamond, and gold. And then you can do some really cool stuff with them. You can kind of like place them into blocks. Really cool. So this one was placed onto a block. So, whoops, I'm trying to get to this gold one. So I can right click and determine if I want it to be placed down or pointing into it. Same thing with this one down here. These guys, you can right click to rotate around, and then they can rotate all the way around however you want them, pointing in all sorts of different directions. All of these can do that. So you can see that one up there is pointed in that direction, or I can have it pointed out however I want that. Now you have a clock and a what is this? Compass, a compass and a clock. Clocks can only be placed on the walls, and compasses can only be placed on the floor. Now bows and arrows. Bows can only be placed on the floor. They can't be placed on the wall. Otherwise you start to shoot them, or on the ceiling. And same thing with these arrows. Can only be placed on the ground, but you can do all the different tips of arrows. So we got some cool like regeneration arrows and slowness arrows right here. They cannot be stacked, so you can only put one arrow on the ground at a time. One thing I wish is that some of the armor, even though you have armor stands, having armor being placed on the ground would be really cool. And none of the tools work. So if you're hoping to have axes in the wall, that will not happen, or like leads or name tags or anything like that. None of the tools will work. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Okay, moving back over here, let's clean this area off. Oh my gosh, I'm getting rid of such nice and useful stuff. Okay, we're taking a look at a few more items. I showed off the bowl earlier. A stick can be placed on the ground. It looks a little bit like that in-rod texture. Same with a feather, some charcoal and coal. They do have different textures. Wheat kind of looks like a cornucopia of wheat. Looks really cool. Snowballs are interesting because not only are they snowballs, but when you walk on them, they will crush into normal snow, a snow layer, which is kind of neat. And slime balls are bouncy, as you would expect them to be, which is kind of cool. Leather just looks like pure old leather. Now, rabbit leather does not place on the ground. You also have all of the different types of bottles. We're going to get to those in just a bit, but bottles of enchanting look really crazy. They look really, really neat. Eyes of Ender and Ender Pearls. And if you right-click them, well, here, not if I'm doing that. No, never mind. Okay, so no, they don't work like that. I was wondering, because bottles of enchanting, whoops, if you put them on the ground and then right-click them, whoops, oh my gosh. Get out of here. I have too much stuff in my hands. Okay, if you right-click them, they will break, just like that, giving you the levels inside, just like that. I'm just right-click. I'm not punching them or anything like that. Whoa, like I punched that. Oh my gosh, this table's gonna hate me. You have some bones, which kind of look pretty cool, and you have a fire charge with when you right-click, it will fire it in the direction that you right-clicked it in, which makes it very simple. And then you also have eggs, and if you place these eggs down and right-click them, there's a chance that a little baby will pop out, just like that, just like you actually threw them on the ground yourself. Next is books, and there's a few different types of books. There's normal books. There are book and quills that are open, and there are enchanted books, just like that. So the enchanted book, the book, and the book and quill all look a little different. Next, let's check out some brewing items. You got magma cream, which changes colors and looks really cool. You have blaze powder, which creates little blaze particles off of it. That is way neat. I want to kind of make it look a little different. We have glistening melon. We saw the melon before, and I mentioned that glistening melon was a thing. Glistening melon looks like that. And then golden carrots look a bit like this. They almost look like little pencils. And then potions. And you have all different types. So you have the drinkable potions, the splash potions, and you even have Dragon's Breath, which has a really cool animation behind it. And we already showed off the bottle of enchanting. Lingering potions do not have a effect because you will just throw them on the ground whenever you have them. Where are these potions? Here we go. Lingering potions, yeah, do not have any model. You just throw them on the ground just like that. So also these, if you right click, you will drink them. And if you right click these, we'll break them. If you right click this, nothing will happen. Of course, you can see that with these models, it would add quite a lot of character to a space. I mean, just a lot of really cool stuff. There is a lot that isn't modeled yet. So like fishing rods and nether stars and flint, I couldn't get to give me a model. So there is quite a lot. All of the dyes cannot give you models yet. So any of there we go, right here. Any of these dyes, they can't give you models. There's a few things in here like paper won't give you model, that sort of stuff. And then there's some stuff that kind of already has a Minecraft model, like string has its Minecraft model, even though it's kind of crummy compared to all the others. Like, oh, wow, exciting, like really cool. So there is some stuff that would look cooler if it could just be placed as an item instead of as the kind of like block thing that it represents. And so there's those things as well.
Like I said before, description below to find out more about this mod. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMGcraft. Make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what's running through your head. I can't read your mind. It has to come from the comments down below. And make sure you subscribe for future tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMGcraft. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye.